Hey, hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Good Friday, first and foremost. But Auntie Cuckoo's got another true crime murder story. Are you ready? Buckle up, buttercup. This story is a doozy, as usual, right? It's always a doozy, but this is literally the story of these two innocent young teens that were not only murdered, but mutilated by a complete monster whose ambitions were to become the world-known serial killer. Well, you failed, mofo. You failed. But before I give you guys all the deets, don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Storytimewithauntiekookoo. K-O-O. Let's do it. So this crazy story, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, God willing, right? But it takes place in Tellico, Texas. It's a very small town. And our main key player is scumbag number one, Jason Massey. He is 20 years old, a high school dropout. He was raised by an alcoholic father and a drug-abusing mother, and they literally lived like one rundown house to another. Like, he didn't have the best childhood growing up, but at the same time, he wasn't all that right in the head to begin with, it sounds like. So Jason actually is known for torturing and mutilating animals. So the story I'm about to tell you guys doesn't have to do with the animals, but just days before the incident we're about to talk about, there was a call to a McDonald's and the police showed up. And as they showed up to the crime scene in the back of the McDonald's, they seen this shadowy figure running off. And they got there and there was a mutilated calf. Yes, a baby cow, mutilated. As they're looking around, they see this tan car and they also see a bracelet that has the name Jason on it. Later on, eyewitnesses identify that the shadowy figure that was running off was Jason Massey. Just to give you an idea of what kind of twisted individual we're dealing with here. Also, when this incident happened, police began asking around, and all of Jason's friends talk about how he just like thrived on mutilating and torturing animals. Cats, dogs, cows, rabbits, anything he can get his hands on. He loved to mutilate, torture them, and then also decapitate the animals and then store their heads in a cooler. I'm not making it up. True friggin' story. Yeah, he did. Decapitate them, kept them as, he called them his trophies. So that's a little rundown of Jason Massey. So that brings us to the, and I don't want to call it a main event because it's not like it's a good thing, but to the incident. It is July 27th, 1993, and James King and his stepsister, Christina Benjamin. I didn't want to get the names messed up because she's got the Benjamin. Anyways, so it's James King and Christina Benjamin. They are step brother and sister. James is 14 years old and Christina is 13 years old. Well, unfortunately, they know Jason Massey. They live in a small town. Like I said, Tellico, Texas. I know, I live in a pretty big town. And when I was in high school, it was like, cool, that's what we did. We drove around and stuff. So Jason pulls up at front of their house. He's like, what's up? You guys want to go for a ride in the country? And like, yeah, we do. They're like young teens. Of course they do. They jump in his car. This is July 27th, 1993. It's like around, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock at night. They jump in his car thinking they're going for a nice country drive. Well, Jason has other plans for this drive. As they're driving, Jason pulls over, and the name of the road is Cutoff Road Bridge. He pulls over and leans over with a .22 caliber pistol and shoots James twice in the head. After he shoots him, he pushes him out of the car. Christina obviously is like, what the heck? And she jumps out and starts running. Well, Jason gets out of the car and begins to, follow in pursuit, chasing after her, shooting her once in the back. Now, this wasn't a fatal wound. She was still alive. He later did shoot her in the head. That's what we know for sure. When the police found these bodies, this is twisted. When the police found these bodies, Christina was naked. She had no signs of actual rape or sexual trauma, but she had been decapitated. Both of her hands were missing. Her nipples were missing. she had been eviscerated. If you don't know what that is disembowelment. Like, pretty much she'd been gutted. Like, she'd been slit from here to here, and her intestines were, like, missing and spilling out. I mean, she had been completely tortured. So, like I said, you know, he ends up, you know, she does die, obviously. It's afterwards that they think that all these, like, trauma to her body and all these things happened. Now, the reason Jason was tied to this crime is because there was not only forensics, but there was eyewitnesses. When they, you know, when he came to his house, came to James's house. Jason and James keeps throwing me for a loop. Sorry. When Jason Massey showed up to James King's house, the dad was on the porch and had heard him talking to Jason. So that's who they went to right away. On top of that, there was blood found in his car, whatnot. So everything tied him to this murder and torture that he did to these two young kids. During the trial, one of the biggest things the prosecutors had a hard time with was, like, figuring out a motive. Like, why did he do this? And from all the, like, psychological profiles and everything they can look at, it is literally that Jason is one of those lust murderers. And what that means, if you don't know, being a lust murderer is you have no real motive. You're not killing someone because you're mad or because you're angry at them or because they did you wrong or, you know, for money. Some people kill people for life insurance, you know, things like that. It's got nothing to do with that. It's literally pure sexual excitement, gratification from that. Now, a lot of lust killers, just like Jason, like I mentioned earlier, torture animals growing up. You know, they enjoy that. It gives them arousal and sexual gratification. I don't know how. I mean, because it makes me cry just even thinking about it. But some people tick like that, I guess. I don't friggin' know. But, you know, but when you're growing up and you do that, it gets to a point where that's not enough. And then they finally move on to people. So it's not like Christina or James had done anything wrong to him. It was just like, that's what he wanted to do. It was a lust killing. And these people were going to trust him to get him in the car. So, needless to say, like I said, the evidence, the eyewitnesses, the forensics, everything, you know, pointed to Jason. Went to trial. He was, during the trial going on, here's an even crazier part. As the trial was going on, a hunter, unrelated to the trial or anything, is walking through the woods. As he's trolloping through the woods, looking probably for his next deer or buckshot or whatever, he finds a red tin cooler. Yeah. He opens it up. Inside of it is 31 animal heads, as well as Jason Massey's journals. 31. Like, you freaking kidding me? Anyways, and then his journals are labeled, and I don't want to say it wrong, Slayer Books of Death. Slayer Books of Death. So in these journals, they are filled. And they're like, you know, like spiral notebooks like we had in like school and stuff. You know, like a spiral, big, like full notebooks. Not like little tiny journals, big, full sheet spiral notebooks. Pages and pages filled with, you know, obsession of torturing, mutilating, murdering, you know, young girls and his plans. And throughout all these journals, their number one thing they could see is his biggest desire, his number one aspiration in life was to become the most prolific serial killer. Well, you failed, mofo. You friggin' failed. Okay? You did kill 2 innocent kids and you are an absolute scumbag for that. But you're not the most prolific. And really, no one would know about you if people didn't talk about you like me. So don't think you're big and bad because you didn't accomplish your goal. Scumbucket. Anyway, so yeah, that was his biggest thing. I want to become a serial... Like, yeah, when I'm growing up, what do you want to be? I want to be a fireman. I'm going to be a doctor. I want to be a serial killer. Really? His idols were like Charles Manson, all the twisted, typical, psycho, not okay stuff. So, needless to say, not only during this trial, well, they were like, you know, had all this evidence, then this hunter finds this cooler of 31 animal heads and his journals talking about his obsession about wanting to torture and mutilate, you know, young girls and wanting to be a serial killer. So, needless to say, what do you think? He was charged guilty. Guilty, mofo. Thank you. Deuces, right? No, not so much. Well, pretty much. So they did find him guilty of both capital murder on both of the young innocent children, Christina Benjamin and James King. Like I said, James was 14 and Christina was 13 years old. They were stepbrother and sister and just trusted a friend from the neighborhood and ended up getting murdered, tortured. So he was found guilty and he was sentenced to death. Good. Good. It was actually 2001, April 3rd, 2001. So if I would have waited till tomorrow, we could have a 20-year anniversary for him. Dang me. Dang you, cuckoo. We could have done a 20-year anniversary on this mofo's death. So it was April 3rd, 2001, where he got his lethal injection. The grandparents of Christina and James did show up. And apparently, while Jason Massey was on death row, he became a Christian and felt so bad about his decisions and the way he was. So as he was getting his lethal injection, he was like, I'm so sorry and I apologize. And he also did say, you'll never find Christina's hands or head because I threw them into the Trinity River. I don't think he said it as a jab as I'm saying it. I think he said it as trying to offer peace. But to me, it's like, really? That's your last... Oh, I'm so sorry. And her hands and head are in the Trinity River. Really, Jason? Really? No, what am I going up there for? I would go down there, right? I should be giving it down there. Anyhow, so there's another wild, crazy story for yous. I try to keep it short and sweet for yous. Anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. Don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Storytime Auntie Cuckoo, Kookoo. I've already told you, if you give me enough subscriptions on YouTube, then I don't have to go live here anymore. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Do good things, make good choices, be kind to one another. Like I said, happy Good Friday to all. Just be nice, spread love, spread kindness, not hate and mean, let's be nice. Give hugs, not drugs. Make love, not war. You know how I roll. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a very happy Easter, and I'll check you on the flip side, skillets. Deuces.